We've walked down from the Commando Memorial to the River Spean, which is in spate at the moment from the various meltwaters from the snow that has been up on the mountains. And just here near Highbridge, we're looking over the gorge that the Spean has cut, but even a river in spate like this isn't going to cut a gorge which is 40 metres deep, 200 metres wide. There's not enough water there. And so this was another glacial feature. Upstream from here, we have Glen Roy and the parallel roads and this big glacial lake. Downstream from here, the Spean flows into the Great Glen. The Great Glen is a very large glacially cut valley which was full of a really large glacier. And in fact the Spean Valley was dammed by the Great Glen glacier. And that's what caused this glacial lake. It was the damming of the glacier. It's a really bad idea to build dams from things which are lighter than water, because if they get too thin, they float. Okay, and that's what happened here. As climate warmed up, the glacier got thinner and thinner, and eventually it floated on the lake that it was damming. And at that point, of course, all of the water can get underneath, and you end up with a very rapid cutting of a gorge by this flood. These are called glacial lake outflow floods, and they're a feature of warming climate. So at the moment in the Andes and in the Himalayas, where you have these large valley hill glaciers, mountain glaciers, lakes are forming behind them as everything is melting, and eventually as the glaciers thin, the same thing is going to happen. We're going to have breaching of the glaciers and major outflows. And these could be potentially really disastrous for communities living downstream. In the case of Glen Roy, it was 5 cubic kilometres of water that was released during the largest glacial outflow flood. This is potentially a really big thing in the next few decades in the Andes and in the Himalayas.